Building your nest egg starts with knowing what you own and how it's growing. Whether it's something useful like a vehicle or a home, or something meaningful like a collectible, we all like to own things of value. Let's jump into the Possessions tab tool. You'll see that it's organized by portfolios and subportfolios, which you can label as desired in column A. Each primary header displays the total value of its subportfolios, while each secondary header totals the value of its possessions. To show you how this works, let's walk through a card collection example. The portfolio is labeled Cards, while the subportfolios are labeled Baseball, Basketball, and Pokemon. Click the right expansion button to jump directly into a subportfolio and begin documenting your collection. Columns A through H are where you enter your initial inputs, like the owner, labels, description, buy date, quantity, and by price. Columns I and J are for market inputs for monitoring value over time. You can update the market inputs as often as you like, or set an update schedule, like once or twice a year. Market price is determined by what someone else is willing to pay for it. A great way to determine this is by finding comparable sales, known as comps. If you're tracking collectibles like cards, a great place to look is eBay. Search for the item, narrow the search results to the desired grade, and apply the sold items filter. Average the most recent sales to establish a market price. Then update your portfolio and include the date the market price was determined. Continue with the other items in your portfolio. Once updated, you can easily review your overall portfolio metrics. Portfolio percentages show the weight of each line item's market value within your portfolio. Investment totals are the dollars you've put in. Market value totals are the estimated current values. And market ages show how long in years you've owned each item. Click the expansion button above column M to reveal market gain or loss, shown in both dollars and percentage change. Losses are displayed in red, but remember, a true asset should grow in value over time. As age increases, so should your market gains. That's why knowing how it's performing is key. In just under a year, the baseball and basketball collection's values have increased 30% and 38% respectively, while the Pokemon collection value has increased 40% in just under 3 years. Even more powerful than tracking percentage gains is comparing them to a benchmark like the S&P 500 index. The S&P 500 is an ownership package in the largest 500 companies in the United States. Even professional investors struggle to beat its gains over the long run. In fact, each year that passes, the harder it gets to outperform the S&P 500 index. To make this comparison easy, click the expansion button above column P to reveal your investment's gain or loss if you had instead used your money to invest in the S&P 500. If what you own isn't keeping pace with the S&P over your expected timeline, it's a signal your money could be better off in the S&P itself. In our example, the baseball and basketball collections, at about a year old, have outperformed the S&P 500. But the Pokemon collection, even with its 40% growth over 3 years, lags behind the S&P's performance over that same time frame. You're able to track your sales as well. To do this, click the left row expansion button to reveal a secondary subportfolio for all sold or realized possessions. When viewing sold subportfolios, toggle the investment status checkbox to off. This will switch the top header from active to inactive mode. The header's color will toggle between matching the active and sold investment sections for a visual guide. Once an item is sold, simply copy and paste the inputs from the active table to the sold table. Enter the sale info to document your realized value of the investment. Not only does this keep your records clean and organized, but it also lets you easily see your gains or losses, helping you learn from your investments and improve your strategy moving forward. For an added bonus, the Possessions tab tool includes a summary table hidden at the top. To display it, click the expansion button next to row 2. This table allows you to use a combination of drop-down filters to instantly view all matching criteria across your entire collection of portfolios. Let's walk through how this works with our card collection example. Select the cards portfolio to review your full collection. Add basketball to show only basketball cards. Add the tag filter to narrow the results even further. If you don't own any PSA 8 basketball cards, the summary table will display no matches, so you know to try a different tag. Now, remove the sub-portfolio filter, and you'll instantly see all PSA 9 cards in your collection, regardless of type. To get the most out of this feature, assign labels to your possessions based on your desired filtering in the summary table. That's how you use the Possessions Tab tool to track your valuables. Remember, items not worth keeping as prized possessions can be sold and flipped for financial securities, such as the S&P 500. The S&P has averaged over 10% yearly growth for the past decade and sets the minimum growth rate target for your nest egg. To track your mutual funds, ETFs, and stocks, let's jump into the Securities Tab tool, which, as you can see, has the identical structure and functionality as the Possessions tab. But note, there are a couple upgrades which we'll cover next. Instead of manually entering market prices, all you need is the ticker symbol. Once it's entered, the market price is updated for you automatically with live data from the stock exchange. And since market price is live, column J features a day gain tracker instead of a manual market date. This displays the dollar gain or loss for the day based on the price change and the number of shares you own. It's recommended to use the top portfolio for your retirement accounts, like IRAs and other tax-advantaged accounts. Use the second portfolio for your brokerage account, where you can make investments towards a variety of financial goals. And the third portfolio can be used for miscellaneous accounts that accumulate throughout your life. With the Possessions and Securities Tab tools, tracking your portfolios keeps you both organized and focused on optimizing your gains. But even more critical is understanding how assets, liabilities, and debt influence not just your finances, but your time. That's where the Worth Tab tool comes in. It's your complete yearly financial snapshot of your net worth. The Worth Tab tool breaks down your net worth into 4 key sections: productive assets, non-productive assets, your liabilities, and your debt. Note, your assets represent your nest egg. Productive assets are the most powerful part of your nest egg because they actively put more money in. These are assets that generate returns that keep up with or exceed inflation. Think of things like high-yield savings or money market accounts, financial security investments, and rental properties that generate rental income. As these assets grow, so does your financial stability in time. Non-productive assets may still appreciate, but they're not actively generating income. Their appreciation is dependent on someone else being willing to pay a higher price, like collectibles, crypto, or even your primary residence. They can grow in value, but they don't directly add cash flow or build passive income. Liabilities are the opposite of assets. They represent anything that takes money out of your nest egg. They're typically depreciating items like vehicles or boats. But here's the sneaky surprise. Cash is also a liability. That's because inflation, which averages over 3% per year, eats away at its value and reduces its purchasing power. Debt includes any money you owe, with or without interest. This covers credit card balances, student loans, loans on liabilities, mortgages, and any other type of borrowed money. To make sure your net worth is calculated correctly, all debt entries should be entered as negative values in the Worth Tab tool. The colors are designed to give you a visual guide. This is a quick way to understand which parts of your net worth are building wealth and which parts are slowing it down. Set your net worth tracker's start year in cell G2. For each subcategory, click the row expansion buttons to add relevant line items. Enter the owner in column A and an item description in column B. Once a year, Record each line item's end-of-year value in its corresponding year column. This builds a historical view of your wealth, so you can observe growth over time. To see your net worth year-over-year change percentage, click the expansion button above a year column. Positive percentages indicate growth, while negative percentages show decline. To see each line item's percentage share of your total net worth, click the expansion button above column C. Adjust the view year by entering the desired year in cell A1. Now you know how to use the Possessions, Securities, and Worth tab tools to track, grow, and measure your net worth. All essential steps in building your nest egg. In the next video, we'll take it one step further and master your cash flow. You'll learn how to create long-term plans, make adjustments that last, and bring your net sheet all together.